On 2015 in Mexico, in a high-security prison west of Mexico City, one of the most powerful drug lords in the world is pacing back and forth inside his cell. Even the heavily armed guards realizes that in just a few hours, this man will vanish. He's disappearing right under their noses.
15 años, Joaquín el Chapo Guzmán se burla de las autoridades mexicanas al escaparse nuevamente de una...
The world's richest, most notorious drug kingpins broke out of prison.
Former cartel leader is considered one of the most dangerous drug traffickers in the world.
This is the unbelievable true story of El Chapo Guzmán, the man who built an empire of blood and drugs and carried out not one, but multiple daring prison escapes that stunned the world. Every time the law caught him, he somehow slipped through their fingers. But his last escape would also become his final one, the end of a legend and the fall of one of the most powerful drug lords in history. Before the escape, El Chapo had already been a legend, the ruthless boss of the Sinaloa Cartel, a criminal organization that flooded America with billions of dollars worth of cocaine, heroin, and meth. He ruled with fear and silence, and anyone who betrayed him was found dead or worse. But after years of hiding, on the 22nd of February 2014, authorities finally caught him. After 5 years on the run, El Chapo was found in a small hotel in Mazatlan, Mexico. He had no bodyguards, no army, just a few men. He didn't even resist arrest. He simply said, "You got me." For the government, this was a massive victory. For El Chapo, it was only a delay. He was taken to Altiplano, Mexico's most secure prison. It was considered impossible to escape from. Armed towers surrounded the walls, motion sensors lined the corridors, and hundreds of guards patrolled day and night. Each prisoner was monitored constantly. Even their showers were under camera surveillance. El Chapo wasn't just any prisoner. He was a man obsessed with control, and with one mission: to get out. He knew that if the Mexican Congress approved extradition to the United States, his days were over. So while he appeared calm inside the cell, outside, his empire was already working on the plan. The mastermind of the operation was Damaso Lopez, El Chapo's trusted right-hand man. Damaso wasn't just a cartel member, he was a former prison security chief who had once worked inside Altiplano itself. He knew everything: the guards' schedules, the structure, and the blind spots. The plan was dig a tunnel from El Chapo's cell to outside the prison. Through El Chapo's wife, Emma Coronel began sending secret messages by him to his mans. The goal was dig a tunnel from outside the prison, directly into El Chapo's cell. Finding a location near the prison wasn't easy. The cartel bought a small, abandoned property over a kilometer away, far enough to avoid suspicion, close enough for the tunnel. It took months of secret work, 24 hours a day, non-stop. The tunnel had to be perfect, reinforced with wooden beams for safety, equipped with lights and air ventilation, and even a small rail system to carry dirt out silently. It was an engineering masterpiece, built entirely underground. No one in the prison had a clue. But there was one major problem: how to know exactly where El Chapo's cell was located. During one of Emma's visits, she smuggled him a watch, but not just any watch. It was a GPS tracker. When El Chapo placed the watch in the shower area, the only blind spot not covered by cameras, his men outside received the exact coordinates. That's when they started digging straight toward that point. Slowly, silently, and with surgical precision. On the 11th of July 2015, it's a quiet night inside Altiplano. Cameras show El Chapo in his cell, pacing, and watching TV. He's watching a comedy show, laughing to himself. But that laughter was a cover. The noise from the show was hiding the sound of drilling beneath his feet. At exactly 8:10 p.m., El Chapo walks into the shower area, and he's gone. A few minutes later, guards realize something's wrong. The cameras show nothing but an empty cell. They rush in, the shower floor is open, a hole leading straight down. El Chapo had climbed down a ladder into a tunnel stretching 1.5 kilometers underground. At the end of the tunnel, one of his men was waiting with a small motorcycle fixed to rails. They sped through the tunnel to the other side, and they vanished into the night. When news broke out, Mexico and the entire world were in shock. How could the most secure prison in the country lose its most dangerous prisoner? Again? The government was humiliated. People protested in the streets, demanding answers. Officials who worked in the prison were arrested, but the truth was clear. El Chapo had outsmarted them all. For months, he was a ghost, moving between safe houses, protected by his men, managing his empire from the shadows. But the USA wasn't done. American intelligence agencies joined forces with Mexican Marines to track him down. In January 2016, they found a house in the coastal city of Los Mochis. At dawn on January 8, Marines stormed the building. A fierce gunfight erupted. El Chapo escaped again through another hidden tunnel. But this time, luck ran out. He and his lieutenant stole a car and tried to flee. But a police checkpoint stopped them. After a short chase, El Chapo was caught for the last time. This time, the Mexican government didn't take chances. They immediately began the process to extradite him to the United States. In January 2017, El Chapo was flown to New York. He faced 17 charges: drug trafficking, murder, and money laundering. His trial began in November 2018, where dozens of witnesses, including former cartel members, testified against him. In February 2019, the verdict was read that he is guilty on all counts. The judge sentenced him to life in prison plus 30 years, sending him to ADX Florence, the most secure federal prison in America. For years, El Chapo ruled Mexico's underworld with violence, fear, and cunning. He escaped justice twice, but no one outruns it forever. His story became a symbol of corruption, power, and the illusion of invincibility. And in the end, even the most dangerous man in the world found himself in a cell he could never escape.